Episode 173, reunited. Thank goodness she's home. Hello, Lisa Brandt.
Hello, Erin Davis. It's really nice to be home, and I'm sure once I've had more sleep, I'll feel even better about it. You know, it's that kind of dopey, just got home, where is everything stuff going on right now, but it's very good to be home.
Well, it's appropriate that yesterday is the day that you actually got into your bed at home, and it was Earth Day because you were like, where on earth am I right now?
Pretty much, you know, I was thinking about the Flat Earth Society because there's that point when you're on a long-haul flight, changing time zones, and it got really dark, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're into the sunshine again. And it's just like, I was thinking, how do flat earthers explain this? So anyway, it was pretty cool. We had great flights, and I have nothing but good to say about LOT Polish Airlines.
Ah.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Yeah, all good.
Good. Glad to hear it. Now, when you got home, were a lot of the places in your area of Port Stanley, Ontario, underwater? Because I'm seeing so many headlines saying cottage country in Ontario, which is a misnomer because so many of our listeners live in those places. They're not for vacationers, they're for residents. And I know that my partner, Mike Cooper, up near Ennismore, the water is way high on his lake, and it's, he says, higher than it's ever been.
Yeah, I noticed that in Halliburton, all those areas, they've got a lot of flooding problems. I don't think we've got anything going on here in Port Stanley. Nothing in the village, nothing on our part of Lake Erie, as far as I know.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
Yeah.
Make sure it stays that way. My goodness. So, what's new since last we talked? Let's see now. You mentioned an airline. Did your luggage all make it both ways for you?
No problems with luggage whatsoever. I have to tell you, my cousin Barbara Ann and I went on this trip, and it started out we were going to Poland, right?
Yes.
So as we meet at Pearson Airport to leave, this is how we start. We've known each other, obviously, our whole lives, and we're very much alike. And she looks at me and she says, "You have a bag to check." And I said, "Yeah, we're checking bags." And she goes, "No, we're not. We're only doing carry-on. I only booked carry-on."
Oh, no.
She booked all the transportation and I booked all the accommodation. And I said, well, I guess if I've forgotten or made a mistake, I'll just have to pay the extra. I mean, what am I going to do, right? So anyway, it turns out she had booked for luggage for both ways. It wasn't just carry-on. So she ended up with her little teeny tiny carry-on and checking it everywhere we went.
Oh, dear.
And so she was scrubbing out underwear all the time, and I didn't have to as much. But it was kind of funny. We had a few moments like that here and there. I almost lost my mother's ashes.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we were in Warsaw, which was our first stop. She's in a little silver bird.
Yes.
And I took it with me so that Mom could go around Warsaw because she never got to go there where her mother and father were born. And later in the day, I couldn't find her. And I was absolutely certain I'd left her somewhere, and I didn't even get upset. I thought, well, at least she's in Warsaw.
Right, yes.
There are other of her ashes spread around Newfoundland, and I thought, well, what's the worst that could happen? Somebody might not recognize what it is. I wasn't really worried about an indignity or anything. I just thought, well, if I've lost her, I've lost her. And then I went to move some things around in my suitcase, and there was the bird, so the crisis averted.
No, thank goodness. Well, Two of your biggest crises were right there at the bottom of your legs. Oh my goodness, the blisters and the sore feet. I guess it's something that many travelers deal with, but what happened?
Well, here's what I should have done. When my cousin, who researched footwear like crazy, bought a pair of shoes that are waterproof and for walking and everything, she wore them every day and never had one issue. I also did a bit of Googling about shoes and decided that I would trade off every day. I'd wear my Skechers one day and then wear these other shoes the other day. And I can't even remember what they're called. Good quality and everything else. And I was doubling up on socks too, which is something that the Mountain Co-op people suggested.
Okay.
But I got a blister on the back of one foot. And then I got one in between my toes. And I guess because I had two socks on, the foot was getting squished. I don't know what happened. So there was some pain there, and there still is some. I'm still dealing with that. But I found this Band-Aid called Compeed, and it was like a little miracle for the blisters. So it really didn't hamper me in any way. It just was kind of annoying for the first day before I got something to look after it. I should have done what she did and invested more money and just bought the one pair. But, you know, I've always heard that not just wearing the same pair is good, blah, blah, blah. But
Oh, sorry to hear that. Compied, P-I-E-D, like foot in French, or?
No, P-E-E. Peed as in pee on your foot in French.
Oh, okay.
And they were kind of expensive for a Band-Aid, but they're medicated. And the medication, it's really kind of weird looking. When I went to take the Band-Aid off, all the medication gathered at the blister. It's almost like it migrated. It's just the strangest thing. And it healed it so fast. Took the pain away instantly. I was really impressed.
Aw, I'm glad. And for everything else that ails you, there is good food. And oh my goodness, some of the pictures you were posting, Lisa, just, start us out with your culinary adventure, Anthony Bourdain. Where did you go? What did you have?
It's so funny because in Warsaw, where we were staying, right in the old town, which is where we tried to get in every town so that we weren't in their Rodeo Drive or anything.
Yeah, right.
Right outside our door, there was a pierogi restaurant. And it had a lineup all the time, even on Easter Monday. And so because we eat earlier, because we're North Americans, we got in there one night and you could order a plate of pierogies and order as many as, I think, 4 types. So we each ordered a different 4 and we traded and tried them all. Oh, my goodness. They were so good. And it's funny because people were saying, oh, yes, of course, fried with onions. It's like, no, that's not how they serve them there.
No.
They're boiled, for one thing.
Yep.
You can have, your meat with it or whatever, and sour cream. But they don't slather them in fried onions, and they don't fry them to a crisp, which is how I do them for my husband, because he likes them that way. But no, they're much more spongy and filling, and they were so good. And we had cabbage rolls one night, which is, again, something our family always had from my grandmother's side, and they were amazing. I'm drooling.
Oh, I can hear it.
And beetroot soup, which was just so delicious and so flavorful. And we just tried to eat stuff that we had heard of. And the one thing I didn't want to try is borscht, because I know what it's like. I was never a fan. And it really didn't matter to me to have it, so I never did have it. But there are all these different salads. Of course, they make everything out of cabbage and potatoes. And I came back the exact same weight I was when I left, but I ate well.
Yes, like a local.
Yeah, but walked and walked and walked, so it all evened out in the end.
How about that? Now, all this mention of cabbage, I'm sorry, I have to go there. So tell us about your accommodations. Were you and Barbara Ann in the same bed? Was it Dutch oven time? Like what? Tell us about it.
It really wasn't bad. It's funny because when we got to Krakow, which is south of Warsaw in Poland, the room had one bed, and I had specifically asked for a room with twin beds. So anyway, they were, we weren't upset or anything. I just went down to the front and I said, hey, we're not a couple. And I had booked a room with twin beds. And she's like, no problem. They came up and they started to unzip the beds. So it was 2 twins zipped together with a mattress cover.
Cruise lines do that. Yeah, okay.
Right. So they started to unzip it. And I said, wait. Are you just going to unzip this, remove the big sheets, put little sheets on both sides and everything? She said, yeah. I said, don't go to that trouble. That's ridiculous. Forget it. We're fine. It was a massive bed. I didn't care. Barbara Ann didn't care. And it was the same in our beautiful place in Prague, too. We noticed the zipper in the middle. I was like, who cares? It wasn't that big a deal. I just thought if it was one bed and we had the wrong room,
right,
we could move into the other one, but I didn't want them going to all that trouble. That was silly. So yeah, we just left it as it was. Yeah.
Okay. So you've got the bed situation figured out. What about the pillows? What were they like?
Oh, they were somebody has told the hotel room outfitters of Europe that the bigger the better with the pillows. These things were like inflated couch cushions and so unwieldy. You couldn't fold them. You couldn't squish them. They were so big. It was ridiculous. I don't know who would be happy with them. It's like bigger isn't better when it comes to a pillow.
Thank you for that qualification. Go on. Well, I'll tell you, bigger is better when it comes to a discount, because Envy Pillow, our go-to, our girls, Envy is having 20% off sheet sale right now. Right now, we don't know how long it's going to last. So go to envypillow.com. So good to come home to. And that discount is not in addition to your 10% off for using the code GF. But Kathy and Kim have said, just get to the website. Make sure you get in on the 20% off sheet sale right now. And something extra special to come home to when it comes to Envy. You mentioned a beautiful room in Prague. What was the not so beautiful on the trip? How did your hostel experience go?
Well, I thought it was going to be like the one Derek and I stayed in just outside Venice, which was a hostel hotel. Mm-hmm. And it was, that place was huge. It had all sorts of amenities, all sorts of things. And this place was described as a hotel/hostel. It was a hostel. And it was fine. It was clean. We had our own beds. We had our own bathroom. We had plenty of room. We had areas to hang things up. It was quiet. All those things were great. But it was definitely a place where young kids who didn't have much money stayed in.
Okay.
And that's fine. It was just fine. And it was in a terrific neighborhood for walking, which was my priority when I was booking, that I wanted to be close to the things that we wanted to see. So, it was very bare bones. There was no restaurant there or anything like that, which is fine again. It was just a hostel. That's all. It's kind of funny, though, because neither one of us brought shampoo. And because it's all these young people backpacking and doing whatever else they're doing, they share things. And so there's a communal cupboard, like a shelf, where you can leave stuff that you're not going to use. And we got some really high quality shampoo. So we ended up getting shampoo. And then we left a whole bunch of things for other people too. So we felt quite comfortable there. It was no problem. But it's kind of funny. Like everybody's looking after themselves. And there's a laundry room and all that kind of thing. And there's nothing to complain about at all. It just wasn't quite what I thought it was going to be.
And on the other end of the accommodation spectrum, a little bit about that apartment that you had, the one that made you go, oh.
In Prague, it was an apartment, 2 baths, a full kitchen, all those things. And it's funny because when I was booking it, I thought, how can this be possible? It costs less than a hotel room here. But then when I got there and saw that we were in the center of everything, I understood. That's why the hotel rooms are so expensive. So this apartment was very affordable, super safe, really quiet, near everything. It was just, we were so spoiled. We just kept saying, I can't believe it. So I said to Barbara Ann one day, well, we live here now. So let's memorize this address.
Yeah.
Because this is where all of our deliveries will come to. It was pretty special.
You went on this not so much as a pilgrimage, but kind of to be in a place of your family roots. But you went deeper than roots. In the case of Vielichka salt mine. Okay, first off, what on earth made you go to a salt mine? And what was it all about, Lisa?
Our friend Wanda is the one who made me go because she said, Wanda's been all over the world. And so I said, do you have any advice, anything I should see? And she said, this is going to sound crazy, but you'd need to go to this salt mine. I never would have gone. I saw it come up as an attraction and I thought, yeah, salt mine, that sounds great. But it was on her say-so, and I am so glad I listened. They started mining this salt mine in the year 1290. Mm-hmm. And it's still being mined today. So how do I explain it? You go down 130 meters eventually. The tour takes you down there, which is about 30 stories.
Wow.
But yeah, you're not just going through, seeing people with pickaxes and wheelbarrows or something. You're going through huge rooms where they've got dioramas set up of what it looked like, say, in 1625 when someone was in there removing salt. And the guide will say, this is what it was like, this is what the dangers were, whatever, and they'll have a room preserved where everything pretty much is made of salt. They have a full chapel down there.
Oh.
All the pews are made of salt. Life-size statue of Pope John Paul II made of salt. It's absolutely incredible. There are some very narrow passageways, which someone like Derek, who doesn't like narrow passageways never would have been able to do it. But mostly it was fairly comfortable, and you just know that you're way under the earth. About 700 people still work there.
Wow.
And they're still mining salt. It's a huge attraction.
Oh.
So we had booked transportation there, and then they have previously arranged with a guide to take you, and then it's just go, 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 go. There's thousands of people going to see this thing.
All right. What's in the gift shop?
Little salt cellars, of course.
Not vendors, but the little containers that hold the salt, right?
Yes, with a C,
Yes,
with a C,
yes,
not an S,
yes.
yes. And of course, bags of salts. Our tour guide, I can't say enough about her. Her name was Kasia. You know, Michael, the guy who drove us there, they had an option of buying a box lunch from them or lining up with everybody else at lunchtime at the vendors. And so we went for the lunch, and we just felt like geniuses. We were eating and everybody else was still standing in line. They have it done so well. And you just can't imagine how entertaining and awe-inspiring this salt mine is. It's unbelievable. And when you're on a certain level and they'll say, okay, so this was about 1525, and it's like, oh my goodness, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what do we have here that's from 1525? So
Did your skin feel any different when you left?
I could taste salt.
Oh.
But I don't think my skin felt any different. I could definitely taste it. And that wasn't because I was licking the walls. But
You know I would. You know I would, Lisa.
I know you would. And there was one part, you know how much I love cauliflower.
Yes.
And there were a couple parts where Kasia said, oh, look, this is called cauliflower salt, and it looks exactly like cauliflower all along the wall. And my cousin looked at me and she went, are you gonna? I said, no, I don't know who's licked it before me. So
So the Wieliczka salt mine, definitely worth it if you are in what city?
Krakow.
Krakow. Okay. We need to talk, Lisa, about the epic transportation days you had. You spent so much time on buses.
Well, it really wasn't that much, but here's the reason why. I mean, we flew from Warsaw to Krakow, and that was like a 55-minute flight. Here's your thimble of water. Now we're landing,
Right.
You know. And then because we were going to originally go from Krakow to Budapest, Hungary, we changed that because of the political climate there. As it turned out, it would have been okay, but you just don't know.
Can you imagine having been there when Orban was defeated and everyone was singing We Are the Champions? Can you imagine?
Yeah.
But then there's the other side of that.
Exactly. And, you know,
Yeah.
you just didn't know how it was going to go. So because we didn't go there and we chose Prague instead, that was north and west. That's why we had to take a combination of the coolest bus I've ever been on and a train north. And then we took the bus straight south to Croatia. So we messed up the geography purposely by not going to Hungary. So that's why that happened. But it was only the 2 days. And the bus and train combo was delightful. The bus itself on the day to Croatia, not as delightful, but it was fine. It was clean and all that kind of thing. So it was only parts of 2 days, but that's why. It just, if you look on a map, you'll go, why would they do it that way? Well, it got us to Prague, and that's a good thing.
You said you were going to be going to some of the concentration camps, Lisa. And did you?
Yeah, we went to Auschwitz and to Birkenau, which is about 3 kilometers away. And it was, I mean, I think everybody should go if you possibly can. It's as much as we know about what happened, and everybody knows the horrors of, you know, sort of the big picture of what happened there, the smaller stories, the visual displays they have there, the buildings themselves, just the configuration of it. It's like anything else until you see it for yourself. It's just not the same. I defy anyone with a heart and empathy to walk away from it not feeling different, not feeling changed. It's everything from being so sad. I felt sick to my stomach at first. Then I was just so sad I had to cry for a while, which isn't surprising. And then just kind of felt this defiance, like almost like a little human call to arms. Like we just can't let anything like this ever get anywhere close to this again. The thing I didn't know, I mean, there were many things I didn't know, and I thought I knew quite a bit, is that Birkenau, for example, is like 4 or 5 times the size of Auschwitz, and it was purpose-built, where Auschwitz was repurposed from a military base. And so just to get into the mindset of what they were doing, and they were thinking they had so much more to do and were going to keep doing it for so many years, for them to build this size of a horror show. Like, it's just astounding. You really get to feel like they thought they were invincible and that this was just going to go on and on and on. And so they've let Birkenau collapse, basically. Most of the buildings are gone. They've just collapsed, and they were wooden. And at Auschwitz, though, they've taken surviving pieces of wood and rebuilt some of the buildings, so you can go inside and really get a feeling like there's so many things there. And the solitary confinement is a box about the size of a chair seat. Mm. The inhumanity, it goes to depths even worse than I could ever imagine. It was incredible to see. And we were there just a day or two before I believe it's called the Human Walk. And it's when thousands of people gather there. They do it every year, and they walk from Auschwitz to Birkenau. And then there's a big concert and, speeches and stuff like that. So it was really weird to see this relic of the worst of humanity with brand new staging and big speakers and banners for sponsors and all this kind of stuff. It was really kind of an odd feeling, but that's why a lot of people were going there at this time of year too.
Canada, of course, not immune to our own atrocities, but there is something that's happening in Canada starting next week that in its way begins to address them. And it has to do with Hudson's Bay, and it has to do with the Indigenous people, and it has to do with Canadian Tire. And I don't know if you heard about this while you were away. Mm-mm. There's a blanket fund. And I may say this wrong, and if I do, I apologize. The Oshki Wapuawane Blanket Fund, partnering with the Gord Downey and Chani Wenjack Fund to support the Blanket Fund. So every purchase of a Hudson's Bay point blanket, the ones that have the stripes and then the little black lines, Canadian Tire has committed to donating 100% of the corporation's net proceeds, a minimum $1 million annually, to support Indigenous-led initiatives.
Wow, that's fantastic.
It is, and it starts in 1 week. It's their Summer 26 collection, and it's not a free ad for Canadian Tire or Hudson's Bay. But I mean, what do we talk about after you've discussed Birkenau and Auschwitz, right? It's just so much to take in and to absorb what we as human beings can do. But as you saw with the walk, and as we see in this initiative from Hudson's Bay, there's also the positivity.
There's nothing we can do to undo the past, but we can make genuine efforts to make reparations and make sure we don't repeat it, right? I want to buy a blanket just for that reason. And I'm allergic to wool. So there you go. I am.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, well, you know what? We keep these shows to about 30 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up with Lisa's travels next week with the Czech Republic and Prague and Croatia and Zagreb. And there's just so much more. I need a coffee just listening to the first part of your travels. And conveniently, there's the percolator.
Ooh.
Kathy bought us 5 coffees while you were away, Lisa. And she said, I always love the open chats and so glad I haven't turned up as Twit of the Week so far.
Oh, there's time.
Keep it going. Yes. There's always time. And we did get a call from Marcia. Don't have time for you this week, Marcia, but we'll play that next week. And also, we want to make sure that we mention Sierra Sil and how it helped your cousin Barbara Ann. Take it away.
Wasn't I surprised to find out that she was taking it? I didn't even know about it. She's been listening to Gracefully and Frankly and having some pain in her knees. And she's been taking it for months and had it with her, taking it on the trip and feeling great because of it. And she had no trouble with her walks or anything. I was just in shock. I was very pleased. And she really loves it. And she's become a bit of an evangelist for it, too, because she's getting such good comfort from it. So all you do is go to sierrasil.com. Take a look around, read about it, find out what product is right for you, and there's a money-back guarantee, so you can try it and find out what it'll do for you, and if it doesn't, which is not likely, but if it doesn't, you'll get your money back.
Isn't that great that you can travel with someone who uses it and you don't have to feel sheepish? You believe in it, just like I did with Silk and Lauman, and I should have mentioned it, but you can find out more at SierraSil, SierraSil.com, and use the code GF for 14% off. 14 days. That's what they promise. Laura mentioned twits. You didn't think we weren't going to do twits this week, did you, Lisa?
We need a twit.
We do, and we had so many choices while you were gone. There were the pilots in the U.S. who got in trouble for meowing over the airwaves. There was Doug Ford buying his gravy plane and then selling it. You missed all of that, too. Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. Believe me, I tweeted about I think I was part of the reason he sold it.
Wow. Now, here's the question. Will he stop pushing for jets on Toronto Island now that he doesn't have one of his own?
No.
Okay. But it's time for This Week in Totally Stupid or... Twits! I could not resist a travel-flavored twits this week, Lisa, from a woman who got drunk on a Carnival cruise and then sued the cruise line and won.
What?
Yep. She won $300,000 in damages. Here's the story. She took 15 tequila shots, got herself super drunk, injured herself in falls because you're a moving ship. People are going to fall. So she said in a lawsuit, bartenders had been negligent for serving her while she was visibly intoxicated. She said that's the problem with the climate on a cruise ship. They have to sell as many drinks as they can, so they get more tips, they get more sales. And they ruled in favor of the woman who got drunk on the ship.
Let me guess, she was American?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. As someone who loves cruises, I know a lot of people don't, and that's okay too. I recall being on a band cruise once back in my drinking days, and our booze bill was higher than anything else on the bill because they just upcharge so much. And some cruises now, it's all inclusive. But still, I guess we're just not responsible for ourselves anymore, Lisa. So you should sue Europe for your blisters on your feet.
I'm not, it seems to be entrenched in the American zeitgeist that you sue if something doesn't go your way. So no, I think I'll just deal with my own blister. But thank you.
You're going to foot your own bill.
Toe my own line, all those things.
Exactly. Oh, I hate to end this week, but I will be so glad to pick up in episode 174 next week with you and hear about Croatia and Czechia. It's going to be just so amazing. So promise you'll remember all those stories for us?
Oh, I'll do my best. Pictures sure do help, I tell you.
Yeah, no kidding. And we can see, hopefully, lots of them at our Gracefully and Frankly Facebook page, plus links to Lisa's blogs. Don't miss those. And thank you so much for calling our voicemail line. Again, gracefullyandfrankly.com for that one or anything. Just stay in touch with us. We'll stay in touch with you, and we'll be back with you next week. Welcome home, honey.
Thank you so much. I'll be wider awake then, too.